And we're live.
Are you streaming again, Taylor, or no?
No, not yet. I think I'm going to kick it up again soon, though. I haven't for a while.
What happened with that?
I'm the show's most recent streamer.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you are.
I don't know the story. Do you mind giving me the 2-second?
My wife has a health issue, a problem with her spinal cord right now. I haven't addressed it on the show in a while, but and basically it was like, all that time at night that I would, if I'm not doing this or PKN or streaming, I was kind of like, all right, well, this is like a lot more important than that. It's a very serious thing. It's called the cavernous malformation in her spinal cord, which is really rare. It's an overgrowth of blood vessels. They thought it was a tumor. And then they figured out when we took her to Mayo Clinic way up in Minnesota that it wasn't a tumor. It was this malformation of blood vessels, and that can bleed and cause a huge number of problems, ranging from like pain, which, she had a pretty painful night last night too, to like, if something really bad happens and there's a really bad bleed, it could be paralysis. So it's very scary. We were originally, or I guess, so many things have changed that it almost matches back up with what I said a couple months ago, that we're still waiting to do the surgery because she's still struggling with pain and everything. But because she's improving, as a whole, we're hoping that we can, because it's easier for the surgeon to remove and take care of if it's like shrunk a lot instead of when it's really overgrown. And so if we can wait it out and hopefully it doesn't rebleed, then we can either avoid a surgery, that's what we're praying, or we'll have to just go to Mayo and get the surgery, which, insurance doesn't cover huge amounts of it, we found out, but it's such a rare problem that like there are like one hand number of people in the country that have dealt with this. And so the guy at Mayo, this dude with like an Italian accent, he wrote the book, all the pamphlets on cavernous malformations that happen. But he's, I'd say mid-50s.
Oh, okay.
Probably mid-50s.
Still with it.
Yeah, for sure. And so we're still waiting. We're hoping that it'll continue to go down. If a couple months go by and we get another MRI and they say it hasn't shrunk or that they think it might bleed again, there's no way to predict the bleed. Then we'll probably go the surgery route. But we're hoping to, because you don't want invasive surgery, especially on your spine. There's always a huge amount of risk there. Like it's not on the spine, it's in the spinal cord, which is like fucking scary, very, very, very scary for both of us. And so really the streaming thing was like, I'm going to take a break for a while. These evenings, I'm going to spend time with my wife. We're both very, very anxious about it, thinking about it all the time. And so that's kind of been where I'm at. Because now we're planning to wait a couple more months, or at least like another 8 weeks or so before she gets another MRI. We have to go back up to Mayo, or we're going to go back up to Mayo to get the MRI, because their MRI machine even is better than anything in like the rest of the Midwest. It's like 2 levels above it, and they can see more distinct detail, which on something that small, you really need to see. So we're hoping, and really that we can go up there, get the MRI. They'll say it's continued to shrink, hopefully pain continues to go down. But we're prepared, it's her mentally preparing for it more than me, but me also. Like I'm so worried sick about her. But yeah, sorry, that's a huge downer. But that's why I've been taking the break from streaming, just because it was kind of like there are more important family things right now. I need to be there for my wife, especially in those nights.
Sorry to bring that up. I didn't.
No, not at all. People ask
Jesus Christ.
People ask me about it often, and so it's good. I talked about it again.
So yeah, is it that you can't stream because you're caretaking all the time, or is it more just knocked out of the groove? And
it's like knocked out of the groove, but also like it's good for both of us, instead of like multiple nights a week, her being out there by herself, like kind of ruminating on all these scary things, that I'm out there with her. We're watching movies together. We're, playing games together, or whatever it is. And that's good for both of us. Like, it's not me doing it for her. Like, I want to be around her too, because she's my wife and I care about her deeply. And I'm just, want to be there for her however I can. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm planning to kick up streaming again, though. I don't know how often or what I'll even do. If I leave it up to the audience, actually, what if I come back and all I do is magic now? People would hate that.
Taylor,
would hate it.
Taylor, it's time for archery.
Ooh, I can stream art. I'm not confident enough in my form and abilities yet. I don't want to get roasted by all the expert archers.
I streamed weightlifting twice. They were all cool about form and abilities.
I saw one of those. Yeah, that was.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to put the camera down range though and shoot toward the camera. That'll be cool.
And expensive.
That's an idea.
I'll get a little piece of Lexand.
Just a really short stream. The better I am, the shorter the stream will be. And it like shows the bottom 9 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Just couldn't hit it to save my
Shoot
life.
at it for a while.
Have you had this thought that you want to get her operated on so that this doesn't cause a problem during pregnancy? Like if she's going to pump out a kid or two, then you don't want her to face this during that.
Yeah, that's definitely been a thought in our minds. So we're not getting pregnant right now because of this. Especially especially me. I'm not going to ever get pregnant. I'm a man. But yeah, that definitely is entered into it. But then it's also like
men can get pregnant.
Not this one. But but yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking also. And so before we did that, we'd want to have, and even then, like, unfortunately, it's not like a broken leg. Like, there's so little data on this that, like, even when we're asking the guy who wrote the book on it, he's like, what can we do to predict a bleed? Or what should we have her? What activities should she not be doing? This, that, the other thing, all these questions. And he's like, I wish I could tell you more. There's not enough data. Like, this is a very rare thing. And so we don't know what causes a bleed. We don't know how to predict it, but it can bleed again at any time. And we're like, okay, but once you do the surgery, it won't bleed again. He's like, well, we can't guarantee that either. Like it could bleed again. The surgery could fix it. And so it's like, well, fuck, this is a very, he's like, and genetically, it could be like a genetic thing that ends up going away. So it's like, there's so many up in the air things, even when talking to like the expert of experts on it, that it's like, it's difficult, I feel like, to make a decision.
But the surgery is designed to stop this from happening in the future, right? Like
it is.
They never want to guarantee an outcome, but that is the point of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like he said that like with successful surgeries, he's had patients get it and then go 15 years with no problems or whatever it is. So it's just a matter of there being so little information about it that it's like, okay, but is it like we get the surgery and then there's a 10% chance it'll bleed again? Is it a 30%? Is it now it's 50-50 instead of a foregone eventuality? Like, where is that line and when does it make sense? Because, if it's not that big of a benefit, spinal cord surgery is no joke. So you don't want to go into that willy-nilly. Not like, oh, your leg's broken? Let's just pop that right back. Let's fix it. We'll put some screws in there, do this and that.
Plate or two, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yep. And so she's bummed because she hasn't been able to work out in months now. And like it'll come and go. Like just yesterday I was lifting and she was down there with me walking on the treadmill, only like a 30-minute like brisk walk on the treadmill. And last night she was having some pretty significant pain. And so it was like, well, fuck, like that. I
choose to believe you're down there flexing on her. Just like, man, my back feels strong.
Oh my God.
I'm going to do good mornings, honey. You in?
I'm setting off the lunk alarm and I'm throwing my own dumbbells across my gym. Yeah.